Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to Cheifs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs, usually in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Week 11 of the NFL season begins tonight. I know it's flying by, but quite frankly, the Chiefs aren't where they want to be at this point in the season. But there's still a path to not only get to the playoffs, but win the AFC West. I'm going to paint that picture plus more in today's episode. But before I do, you guys know the drill. Last time I checked, we are only 9 people away. That's right, 9 people away from reaching that 1,000 subscriber goal that we are trying to get to by the end of this month. So if you haven't already, here's your chance to help us make history. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and turn on those notifications as well, because we have daily, that's right, daily videos here at Cheifs Latest, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the news, rumors, or actions regarding this team. So once again, help us reach that 1,000 subscriber goal by the end of this month. If you haven't already, hit that button, turn on those notifications, as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Well, it's been over a month since we last saw Josh Simmons out on the football field, with the last action he had being October 6th versus the Jags. He stepped away for family issues, or at least that's what the team said, but he's back in pads, and it could not have come at a better time. The Broncos, they lead the NFL in sacks, 4.6 per game, on pace for 78, which would beat the 1984 Bears record of 72 sacks in a season. They know Mahomes. This is one of the biggest rivals in the NFL. They're coming for blood. Anytime that you get the chance to hit Mahomes, you're going to take it. So coming back during the bye week definitely helps Simmons. We know that the blindside protection has not only been an issue for the Chiefs this season, but has been for the past handful of seasons. Again, Jalen Moore has stepped in, has done all right, but as the weeks have gone, it seems like there has been more flaws to his game that teams are going to take advantage of. But just because Simmons is back at the practice facility does not mean that he's going to start on Sunday. Reed said, quote, "We'll see how he looks. Glad he's back. Let's get him going," end quote. Now, I can't see too many reasons why you wouldn't throw Simmons back out in the starting fold. It really all comes down to two questions. Was he staying active and healthy during this time away? Was he staying in football shape? And the second question being, did he watch film? Does he know what's coming up, what to expect next? Of course, again, coming back during the bye week definitely gave him a little bit more runway, but there's no free passes here in the NFL, not even if you're a first round pick. This shows no favoritism among the team. But if he is the guy, if he has the most trust among the coaches, he should be right back in there right away. Because Moore, again, has done fine, but 3 sacks, 12 pressures in 4 games. Not bad, but not good by any means. Then you look at Reed's process here, how he usually handles something similar to this. Players coming off long-term injury or people that were on IR, even if they come back that first week of practice, Reed usually does not allow them to play that first game. So while not a long-term injury here with Simmons, it was a long-term removal from the facility and the team. So I guess this situation might fall differently here with Andy Reid, as we haven't really seen a situation like this one with Simmons before. But Mahomes needs him. 8.3 air yards with Simmons starting, 5.53 air yards with Moore. Simmons was used and trusted differently as well here. He was often left on an island as one of the highest rates of any tackle in football. Moore, on the other hand, you can't leave him out there on an island. He needs help. Jawan Taylor's ankle, he banged that up versus the Bills, but he was also back as a full participant on Monday. So more likely starts. Simmons probably comes off the bench, ease him in, but again, there's options there. You don't really have to force the hand here because players are down or whatever. So Simmons is the long-term fix. We all know that. And you want to get your first rounder as many reps as possible, especially if he's ready to handle it. Moore held reasonable enough, but as the weeks go on, he seems to be getting more exposed here. So if you can get Simmons out there, the sooner, the better. As I mentioned, the Chiefs, they still have a path here. They still have a path to win the AFC West and get to the playoffs. We're staring down, folks, one of the biggest stretches in recent Chiefs history. The conference #1 seed, yes, that's likely gone. So let's just keep our eyes focused on what's attainable here. Again, the AFC West and just playoff chances, a wild card spot. I've said it throughout the week. I think this game will decide the divisional winner in the future. But right now, the Chiefs, they're 8th in the AFC as a whole. They're on the outside looking in for the playoffs. So probably the safest road you want to take, winning the West. The Chargers, Bills, Jags, they all hold the head-to-head over us. Going over the playoff landscape, as we know, the top 4 seeds are the divisional winners. Then seeds 5 through 7 are your wild card spots. Tiebreakers matter, and it'll come down to your head-to-head, your conference record, and common games. We're 2.5 back of the Broncos, 1.5 behind the Chargers. But again, you have the full Denver series ahead this season. You haven't even played them once. This will be the first game of 2 on Sunday. And then you have one more versus the Chargers, which I don't see the Chiefs losing. So if the Chiefs can't win the West, the wild card is going to be brutal for us. The Bills, Jags, even us, we face 4 of the top 7 AFC teams. And the Chargers, they only have to face 3 of the top 7 AFC teams down the stretch. The next 2 weeks for us is going to be a true DNA test. What are we made of? Are we ready for the hardest stretch of the schedule here? And can we handle the best of the AFC to get to the playoffs? Win both of these next 2 weeks, you're feeling pretty golden. You drop one, it gets real complicated. And you lose both, you might be looking at tickets to Cancun here very early if you're the Chiefs. But again, there is a path. The safest route might just be win your division. Win the AFC West, because I don't want to have to deal with the wild card, tiebreakers, common opponents, this and that. It could come back to bite us in the butt. Let's look at some stats that favor us. Mahomes heads back to where it all started in 2017. His first NFL start and the first of 13 wins over Denver in his career. That's right, he's 13-1, 92.9% versus the Broncos, tied third best since 1950 with 12-plus starts. One more win, and he becomes 14-1. That's 93.3% winning percentage, and passes Steve Young, who is 13-1 versus the Rams in 86 through 98. Since that 2017 debut, Denver's had 5 head coaches. And not only that, they've also trotted out 7 quarterbacks since Mahomes has been the starter in Kansas City. We're hoping the Chiefs can reach the red zone as well, and it'll be a true clash when they do. The Chiefs have the number 3 red zone offense. They score at a 70.27% touchdown rate versus the Broncos' number 1 red zone defense. 37.5% allowed scoring. It'll be fireworks when they get inside the 20. Speaking of offense, the Chiefs, they have a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of talent there, finally some depth there for the Chiefs. They are the only team without a 100-yard rusher or receiver this year. You can look at that in a bad light, that's fine. But again, I like to think maybe we just have too many mouths to feed. Arizona was one of the other teams, but they're off the list after McBride's 127 yards. But it comes back to the hands of Mahomes, who is 85.7% versus the AFC West, 36-6 overall record, the best quarterback mark against his own division since the 1970 merger. The numbers don't lie here, folks. Mahomes owns Denver. 13-1 against the Broncos, outlasting 7 quarterbacks and 5 coaches that Denver has gone through. What will Mahomes unlock on Sunday? I can't wait to see it. I truly think he's gonna be looking good off the bye week. And again, I've been saying it all week. I think the Chiefs grab one on Sunday. Well, running backs have been the talk lately on this podcast, especially with Pacheco missing practice on Wednesday and J.K. Dobbins nursing his own issues for Denver. With Pacheco's latest setback on top of last year's injury, plus you brought in Brashard Smith through the draft, you have to wonder how long that Pacheco's the long-term answer here in Kansas City. The Breece Hall trade was the perfect fix at the deadline, but the Jets, they would not drop from a third-round pick. Beach wouldn't go past a fourth, so it resulted in a deadlock. Of course, we know there was no deal. Now it was free agency or bust if we were ever going to see him in red and gold, but that window may have closed on us early because early free agent rankings have him in the Josh Jacobs territory. As Jeremy Fowler says, around the 4 years, $48 million mark. Chiefs couldn't afford something like $12 million a year, being projected at minus $30 million in cap space next year, which is dead last in the league per spot track. It puts us in the cut and restructure mode. Hall's 10th in rushing in the league, 664 yards, 220 receiving, 3 total touchdowns, 174 career catches, 92 total yards per game, and 82 runs of 10-plus yards over 3.5 seasons. He's a true third down weapon. He has that explosive juice, dual threat. The Chiefs needed him, and they let him go. So if he keeps this up down the stretch, he'll price himself easily out of Kansas City's budget. Hall would have been the perfect Pacheco successor, but these new contract reports might be too much for the Chiefs to take on. It might price him out of our budget. Well, that is all that I have for you guys on this lovely Thursday. We're getting closer to this weekend. Of course, a big matchup against the Broncos. We're going to preview the matchup leading up to Sunday. You won't want to miss tomorrow's episode as well. But go ahead, let us know what you thought about this episode. What do you think is the path to success here for the Chiefs against the Broncos? And do you think the Chiefs themselves are on the right path to get to the playoffs? I am your host, Calvin Silvers. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Help us reach that 1,000 subscriber goal by the end of the month. You are listening to Cheifs Latest, and until next time, have a good one.